I lied to my old friend about the singing. I told him it was the wind, so he'd keep going. I didn't want to be the one who called it. I didn't want to climb back up and have nothing to show. We went down on a Saturday night. Off the books. No crew. No bosses. He said there was copper left in the old north shaft. Not much. Just enough. He knew where the boards were soft on the fence and where the cameras didn't point. We used his truck for light. We signed out rope on a shift sheet that wasn't ours. We said inspection on the line for the gear. I kept my head down when we slid the cart past the guard shack. The shaft sat behind a plywood door, down a run of corrugated and broken numbers on the wall that didn't mean anything anymore. We broke the lock with a pipe and pushed it aside. Cold air came up. It smelled like wet iron. The hole was a circle of black, bigger than a truck tire, with an old ring bolt in the concrete and rust lines like tears down the rim. Water dripped somewhere. Tap, tap, tap. It made a pattern I tried not to count. We had hard hats, headlamps, radios clipped at the shoulders. The rope sat heavy under my gloves. He unpacked the little winch and set the feet on the slab. It was one of those manual crank ones with teeth that held when you let go. He tested it once. The line out and back. The drum clicked. The teeth held. No squeal. Easy in. Slow, he said. Yeah, I said. He grinned. If anybody asks, we never saw this. We clipped in. I checked the gate on his belt, then mine. I kicked dirt into the hole. It fell and didn't hit anything for a long time. We both heard it. The way big, empty sounds. After that, we stopped joking. He went over first. We didn't do it fancy. One line. Both on. Him lower. Me above. I set my feet and took slack around the horn and let him down a little at a time. The rope creaked against the ring and breathed through my gloves. He kept one hand on the rope and one on the wall. His lamp lit chalk scars and old nails that stuck out like teeth. His boot kicked at air. Black everywhere else. My lamp made a weak cone. Smell that, he said. His voice came up and buzzed in the radio and bounced under my hat at the same time. The radio always made people sound farther away. Water, I said. He put a hand to the wall. Feels warm. It's not. Tap, tap, tap. Slow and steady. I set one hand above the other and came after him. The winch teeth clicked when I took in rope. They clicked when I let him out. My lamp flickered. I hit it with my knuckles and it steadied. We cheated everything. No gas check, no tag in, no call. We were just us and the rope. We passed an old station with a rotted plank floor and a sign that said 60 in white paint with streaks. We didn't stop. There was nothing to stand on there. He pointed his lamp down and I saw the sides drop away. It was cleaner rock after that, pale and wet in places. That was when I heard it. A thin voice. It floated up through the throat of the shaft. 3 notes, then a word I didn't catch. It sounded like him but stretched, like it came from the radio only without the static. You hear that? He said. Air, I said. It whistles. I thought it said my name. It's just air, I said again, quick. I didn't want him to stop. He looked up. His lamp hit mine and I had to squint. He nodded. He kept going. We passed over a rusted ladder bolted into the wall. It was bent like a drunk spine and stopped halfway. I watched his foot miss it by inches. The rope creaked when he swung. There were scratches on the rock where the ladder ended. Fresh ones. Not like old pick marks. It looked like something had scraped there just that week. Lines in a cluster, close together. I touched one when I went by. The powder on my glove was dry and soft. We hit a little shelf, a ledge not much bigger than a door. He planted one boot and rested. I eased slack. He took off his glove and wiped his face. The radio cracked and hissed. I heard him breathing in it even though he stood 6 feet below me. Tap, tap, tap. Same drip, same count. He set a spare lamp on the rock. He didn't turn it on. He said if ours died, we would have one. You see that? He said. He pointed with his lamp across the shaft to the opposite wall. Wet marks spread from a crack and ran down to a lip. They weren't drips. They were prints. Not shoe prints. Toe prints. Each the size of a thumb. They went from the crack to the edge and then stopped at air. Each left a little trail. You know how wet feet on concrete look? Like that. But not feet. Rats, I said. It came out dumb. He smiled without humor. They don't walk like that. We started moving again. I took the spare lamp and clipped it to my belt. When I looked down again, there was something scratched into the rock by the ledge. It wasn't letters I knew, not company marks, just fresh white zigzags. Tiny, too many to count. I told him to go. The voice came up again. It used the same 3 notes. It said his name. It said, Nate. It sounded like him saying it. He said, "What?" back without thinking. His radio hissed. Both our lights flickered once. "You hear that?" he said. "Wind." It said my name. "It's the radio," I said. "It bounces in here." He shrugged and kept working the wall. He moved around stuff easy. He used to do this all the time. My shoulders burned. My hands hurt. We were maybe 100 feet down. Maybe more. Hard to tell. Everything was walls and black. We had a plan. Drop to 200. If we saw a drift, put a line and go in. If we didn't, go back up. That was the plan. It went off plan when the rope twisted under my hands. Not a lot. Just a half turn. Enough to tighten my clip against the next. I eased, but it bound. The winch said no. He looked up at me and I could see his teeth. He was grinning because he thought I did it on purpose. "Quit it," he said. "It's hung," I said. "Give me slack." I gave. The drum clicked. The rope groaned through the ring. My glove got warm. He dropped a foot. The twist rolled. It didn't let go. We both felt it. The line started fussing against the ring like a thing alive, but it wasn't. It was us. "Hold," he said. The radio hissed. "Hold," I heard again. Same voice, same word. Only it came from below and the radio at the same time, and it made my stomach go tight. "You say hold?" I said. "I did," he said. "Okay. I'm holding." "Hold?" said the thing again, in his voice, from under our feet, soft like somebody set it into a pillow. We both went quiet. Water kept tapping. My lamp dimmed and brightened like it breathed with me. I hit it again. It steadied. We didn't move for a minute. "We going?" he said. Yeah. I pulled slack, fed it back, tried to take the twist out. It cleared some. We went 2 inches, then 4. I kept us slow. The singing came in fits. A few notes. A word that matched what we were saying. It always sounded like him. Sometimes it sounded like me. I said, "You good?" And I heard, "You good," right back, too fast after me for echo. Not quite right. A little wet. It made me sweat under my jacket. We hit another ledge. He swung to it easy and stepped off. The rope went slack on my hip. I breathed out. "Take 5, he said. He sat. He took off his glove and shook his hand. He wiggled his fingers. Pins and needles. "Don't sit too long," I said. He took a drink. He offered me the bottle. We watched each other's lamps in the dark. He looked at my belt. "Where's the spare?" he said. I felt for it. My clip was there. The lamp wasn't. It wasn't on the ledge either. I looked back up the wall. I looked down. I didn't see it anywhere. I didn't hear it fall. "You had it," he said. I clipped it. I don't know. The radio went to straight static for a full 10 seconds. A dry hiss. Then it cut. Then it came back with one word, clear as him. "Don't." "Knock it off," he said. But he wasn't talking to me. He looked at the crack in the opposite wall where the wet prints came from. He rubbed his face again. We got up. We moved on. We were below where the old crosscuts ran. The rock changed. It went from smooth to broken. I could feel air on my knuckles. It went one direction, then the other. Something big used to move air down here, and now it didn't. The air still moved anyway. It had a sound. It did that singing with it, like a bottle top. Only now the notes came in order like someone learning it by ear. Like a kid. "Nate," it said, but drawn out now. "Nah, Tay." It came from the left, then the right. Always just beyond the edge of our light. He had his lamp on bright. I did too. Anything behind us was black. Anything in front was black. Only our circle mattered. "We should go up," I said. "We're close," he said. He tapped his radio. "You copy?" Static. Silence. I moved the set on my collar to see if the plug came out. It didn't. I could hear him breathing through his, but only when he was turned. The rope creaked and let me know he shifted weight. It made the ring sing. We came to a crack where the wall looked like wet bread. The ledge got narrow. He leaned the other way to keep from falling in. I leaned too. We scraped the rock with our hips. Our lamps painted it. There were more scratches there. Fresh, like the ones by the ladder. No pattern. Just lots and new. "Animals," I said. I didn't believe it when I said it. Something brushed my boot. Not hard. Just a dry tick, like hair. I lifted my foot. My lamp jerked. Light went wide and back again. He stopped and looked up. "What is it?" "Oh, I don't know. Keep going." Keep going. He took another step. He got to a spot where the wall broke out and made a little pocket. He turned into it to rest. He stood with his back to rock and looked at me. "Listen," he said. We listened. The water drip had changed. It had picked up time. Tap, 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 tap. Not fast, just on purpose. Then it stopped. Then it went again. It matched the 3 notes we kept hearing. The radio carried the same thing a half-second late. "Hold the brake," he said. "Hold the brake," said the thing under us, almost polite. My hands went numb up to the wrists. I thought of going hand over hand back up. I thought of leaving him. It came in fast and mean. I hated the thought as soon as I had it. "I've an honor, say it again," I said. "What?" "What you just said." "Hold the brake," he said. "Hold the brake," the other one said. His eyes went big. He shouldn't look scared. He did. He pressed himself back to the rock. He lifted his lamp and pointed it at my chest, like he wanted to see if I was the one making the sound. His beam shook. "I think we need to go up," I said. "Yes," he said. Then he froze. He didn't finish the word. He had been about to say yes again. I knew he would. He didn't. He stared at my shoulder. I thought it was a joke. I almost smiled. Then the skin on my back crawled. I turned my lamp to my left and swung it in a hard sweep. It cut across him and then the wall. Something was there, close. Not in the light till I put it there. Pale and thin and pressed flat to the rock like a lizard, but wrong. It had arms in places that were not arms. It had a mouth on the side of its neck, horizontal, where no mouth goes. That mouth opened and closed like a fish. It didn't make a wet sound. It made my friend's voice. It said, yes, in his tone and smiled without lips. When the light hit it full, it slid. Not fast. Not like a jump. It just wasn't where the light was anymore. It moved into the shadow our bodies made. It stayed there. I shook the lamp to make it dance. It kept ahead of it. "Nate," it said, and the side mouth said it. Another split opened near its collar like a copy trying to be the same thing. It hung a hand in air that wasn't a hand. Fingers or feelers moved and tapped rope. I smelled wet stone close to my face. My chest got tight. I grabbed him. I put my foot on the wall where the prints were and pushed. He pushed with me. The rope shrieked. It didn't break. It slid and burned my gloves. I took us up 6 inches. Something below bumped the line. It wasn't us. It didn't feel like a rock. It felt like a palm under a cable. "Go," I said. "Go, go, go." We went. There wasn't room to move any way but up. We kept to the same side so we didn't spin. My forearms felt like someone had wrapped wire around them and pulled. He was shaking. He didn't say anything. The thing said stuff for him. It used his words. "Slack," it said. "Hold? Wait. Anything he might say," it said. The radio started picking up a squeal. Then it went dead. My lamp flickered so fast it looked like we were already in lightning. Something brushed his boot. He kicked down and hit rock. He pulled his foot up and a nail left a scratch. It bled through his sock by the ankle. Not much, just a line. The smell changed for a second. Hot metal. The pale thing slid toward that smell. I made the light fall on it, and it shifted where I couldn't see. It always moved where we didn't point. We got to the place with the bent ladder. The rungs had rust on them, but they were there. He put a foot on one and pushed. It groaned and held. He shoved up. He was below me now, and he looked up at me like he used to at the bar when he said one more round. He didn't grin. He was straight bone scared. "Keep light on me," he said. "Okay." "Keep it on my left." I kept it on his left. The pale thing stayed at his right. It pressed flat to the wall and ran its fingers up the rope on that side. I saw it then. One nail was fresh, dark under the nail. My stomach went hot and then cold. It opened the wrong mouth and sang 3 notes, and I heard them in my head like a tune I'd heard as a kid. It got low and soft like it was telling me to listen close. He slipped. A rung snapped. He caught with his forearm. The rope took his weight. It creaked so loud it hurt my teeth. "Don't look down," I said. "Don't look down," it said for me. He didn't. We went again. The ledge where the spare lamp had been came and went. I looked. It wasn't there still. On the rock were new scratches. They were long, like a fork had dragged through cheese. One of them had a hair stuck in it, thin and clear. I didn't touch it. The singing moved under us, and then beside us, and then above us. It used my name. It got my name wrong by a bit, and then right. I didn't like that. I didn't like how it felt when it said my name in my voice. We got to where the shaft opened wider. The air got colder. There was dust on the wall again where it had been bare. Our ropes left lines in it like pencil. In the dust were prints again. Not ours. Wet and then dry, still in their shape. They went up the wall like someone had run on it. There was no place to stand there. It didn't matter. They went anyway. "Almost there," I said. I lied again. I didn't know where we were. "Almost there," it said, softer, like it was tired. "Shut up," he said. I didn't know if he meant me or it. He huffed. I huffed. The rope hissed. The winch clicked when I could make it. We were 2 bodies on a string inside a throat. That's all. Our lamps hit the mouth. The round of dark got a gray rim. I saw shapes up there. Concrete. The ring bolt dead center. Our truck's bumper way off to one side. A dirty square. Stars. They looked like foil. I wanted to cry for no good reason. "Do not stop," I said. "Do not stop," it whispered with both mouths now. The lower one was trying to keep up. It moved on the wall with us, sliding from one shadow to the next. It was still inches from him. I could see its eyes that weren't eyes. Little pits. They didn't shine in the lamp. They drank it. My feet hit the lip. My boot slid and found crackled paint. The ring was there. I grabbed it with one hand and pulled myself up. My clip squealed. It held. I got knee over edge. Gravel cut my knee. I felt it. I didn't care. "Give me," he said. He shoved his arm and hand at me. I grabbed his wrist and it was warm and wet. His glove was gone. I didn't see it go. I pulled. His weight came. The rope creaked like it was full of bees. Something grabbed his boot at the heel. It didn't grab like a hand. It wrapped. There was pressure and then a twist. He yelled. It was his voice. Then the other voice yelled at the same time, and it sounded like somebody else's throat. Same word. I didn't know what it meant anymore. He slid back an inch. I lost him up to the elbow. My shoulder popped and went numb. I hooked my other arm through the ring and leaned back. The pale thing's arm was there. It had too many joints. It didn't look like anything I knew. It came up and hooked around his ankle. Its nails weren't claws, but they held like hooks. It had started a new mouth in its shoulder. It was small. It mouthed nothing yet. It was trying to be him and me, and I didn't know what else. I couldn't think about it. There wasn't room. I reached for the knife in my belt, and it wasn't there. It was on the truck. I had a hammer. I always had a hammer. It was rusty and blunt and heavy. I pulled it and hit where the arm knotted. I didn't say anything. I hit until my grip slipped. The first hit made a dull sound like hitting wet wood. The second made a popping noise. The third missed and rang against the ring bolt and made my teeth go funny. The thing didn't scream. It just said my name 3 times fast, like it was trying to get me to look at it. It kept to the shadow of the lip. Every time I got the beam near it, it slid. It didn't let go. The radio coughed and cleared, and I heard myself say, "Hold the brake," from below. My stomach went hot. That wasn't me. I had the brake under my foot. It was on. The drum teeth were in. I checked anyway. It was on. I felt stupid for checking. He was crying. He didn't do that. He did then. Not loud. Just water under breath. He said, "Please." I don't tell men saying please. I heard it. I hit the rope where the thing held. Not a cut. Just hard to make it jump. The line slapped its wrist and it flinched. It wasn't much. It was enough. Its nails slipped. He came up 2 inches. I pushed my boot against the concrete and laid back and hauled with my whole body. Something in my low back went tight like a cable. The thing reached again. It was quicker than my eyes. Its fingers tagged the rope right under my hand. I smashed them with the hammer till I felt the metal through them. It pulled back. It didn't bleed the way I know. It just got darker there. The song started then. Not the notes we had heard. A different one. Full and clear. Not in the radio. It used my voice and his voice at the same time, and it was right in my ear. It said a word I knew when I was little and hadn't thought of in years. It wasn't my language now. It came with a taste in my mouth like copper and salt. It made my arms forget what they were doing. I almost let go. He didn't. He grabbed my sleeve in both hands and shook me. He said, "Don't." Not to it. To me. I looked at him and saw the whites of his eyes, and he was there. I held on. I dropped the hammer and took the rope in both hands. I planted my heel against the ring and pulled like I was tearing a stump out. The drum teeth chattered under my boot. They held. The rope groaned. The pale thing scrabbled. It came up on the wall with us. It put its face where my light couldn't get. Its mouths opened. They didn't line up. It hummed in a way that made my fingers want to not be fingers. I pulled anyway, and his shoulders hit the lip, and then his chest, and then his hips. The thing got one last hold on his bootlace with 2 nails. He kicked. The laces broke. He rolled up and over and into me. We crashed onto the concrete in a heap. The edge of his helmet clipped my brow, and I saw white for a second. Something scraped the lip. A pale hand came over with too many knuckles. I swung with the hammer without picking it up and hit each knuckle till it went away. The head of the hammer slipped from my palm and skittered into the dark. The hand hung there for 1 more second like it was thinking. It wasn't. Then it slid back. It didn't fall. It slid like it was never there. We lay there with our chests going like fish. The rope thrummed on its own. Not on its own. Because it was still moving down there. Not a lot. Just like somebody had put a finger on it and was plucking. The plucks matched the 3 notes. Pluck. 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 "Get up," I said. I didn't stand anyway. He rolled. He grabbed my arm. His fingers dug into old scars and found them. I liked that. It meant he was still him. We crabbed away from the lip. I reached and stomped the winch brake harder. It was already down. I stomped it anyway. We got to the truck. I yanked the keys. I don't know why. The truck couldn't sing. I didn't want it to. He spat blood and said it was just his lip. He kept his head down. He said, "Don't look at me." I said I wasn't. I was. He bled through his sock, the line under his ankle, and it wasn't bad. I looked for the first aid kit. The bag we brought was open. The radio that was in his pocket wasn't in his pocket now. I don't know when it left. The spare lamp was not in the truck either. I didn't think about that long. We dressed his ankle and his lip. It was little stuff. He kept shaking. He wasn't cold. He was just shaking. His mouth made shapes when he didn't mean to. I didn't like that, but I didn't say it. We shut the plywood door. We put the lock on. It didn't matter. That wasn't a door for it. It was for us. We drove to the highway. The truck stank of rope and gloves and wet. He didn't want the radio on. I didn't either. It still hissed. We could hear the hiss without power if we listened. We didn't. I told him I lied about the singing. He nodded. He knew. He didn't talk about the mouths. I didn't either. I didn't go back to the shop that week. He didn't either. We told the boss we had flu. He didn't care. He said to bring the rope back. I said we lost it in a hole. He said he'd mark it off. He laughed. It wasn't mean. It didn't feel like anything. At night, the vents in the ceiling started to say his name. Not loud. Just enough. The shower drain did it too. It took the water and then gave me 3 notes. One up and one down, and one that wasn't either. I turned the water off and it kept going for a bit and then stopped. The fridge made a hum and matched it. I opened the door. It stopped. I closed it. It started again. I slept with my hat on the table and the lamp pointed at the hallway. It flickered at 4 in the morning and went dead. I hit it with my knuckles and it stayed dead. I didn't move for a long time. The vent over my head whispered a word that sounded like mine, almost right, like a mouth trying on a shape. Then it went quiet, except for the steady little tap in the kitchen sink. Tap, tap, tap. I hope you enjoyed that one. Sometimes these stories stay with you longer than you expect. If you'd like to hear more, subscribe for the next night's story. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe watch another before the lights go out. See you in the next one.